Hey, what's up future programmers? It's Benjamin the Dev here with another video on HTML happiness. In this video we're going to be going over some of the tasks or lessons in FreeCodeCamp on HTML. So when you come to your account in FreeCodeCamp, you can see that the first certificate is the responsive web design certificate. You can also see below this is the JavaScript algorithms and data structure certificate. And on my channel, I'm actually going through this in my bootcamp. Please have a watch. Let me know what you think. So without further ado, let's get started with HTML happiness. So on the first lesson, it just really talks about HTML and HTML5 and different sort of parts of it. What we'll do is we'll go to the first lesson and we'll have a quick look. So HTML and websites in general are kind of like buildings being made. You have your design, which is kind of like a blueprint. So someone worked in Photoshop, they design a really nice design, beautiful UX, what have you. Then you have, from the design, you need to have like your skeleton of the building, and this is kind of like the bricks, the structure, the beams and all that sort of stuff. And then to make it look pretty, you got to put like windows in and what have you and all the rest of it, and that's where the CSS comes in. Don't worry about CSS for now because we're going to go over CSS in much future videos, so keep an eye out for that series. But for now we're just working on the structure, which is HTML. So in FreeCodeCamp you have instructions here, and you have your like code editor here, and then your output here as well. So in this challenge, I think what they're doing is they're just asking you to just look at this code and see how it's actually written. So to make code work, what you need to do in HTML is, so for example, let's add an H2. So this is a heading, which is a H2. And what you do is you use your brackets, /H2, and that's closing it. So this, if you think of it like this almost, this is opening and this is closing. So now we can add hello world. So as you can see in here, you don't see any of the H2 or the tags here, but you can actually right click your inspect element and you'll be able to see eventually, here it is. So we've got our H2 opening and our H2 closing. So it's quite simple really. And there's lots of these different types of tags that you can use in HTML. These are just really bare bones sort of HTML tags. So in this lesson, they're basically asking to pass the test on this challenge, change your H1 to say hello world. So basically we just did that without actually looking. So hello world. And that's fairly simple. We can run that test, no problem at all. Let's go to the next one. But before we do, I want to go in and I want to show you Visual Studio Code. Because, as you can see here, this is basically HTML here. So we have our header, we have some meta information, we have our body, and then we have a script, and this is in JavaScript. If you want to know more about JavaScript, go and have a look at my JavaScript bootcamp. But we're just concentrating on HTML here. So remember we had that H2, and see here in the code editor it actually closed it for you, which is quite nice. So if we go to hello world and let's add in a paragraph, this code is nice. Then what I'll do is I'll just pop into the folder and I'll double click there. Excuse the green background, that's just because of CSS. We can actually just go ahead and turn that off just for a moment. Let's just comment that out. Again, do not worry about CSS for now. We'll be going over CSS in another video series. There we go. So it says hello world. This code is nice. So again, if I right click, you can see that it's actually wrapped in H2 hello world /H2. So we've closed, we've opened it, we've put our text, and we've closed it again with the paragraph, opened it with a P and closed it with a P, and that's pretty much it for that one. Now let's go and have a look at this next lesson. So it's saying basic HTML and HTML headline with the H2 element. So they're asking us to add a H2, or a heading to, shall I say. Well, you can call it H2. I call it H2. And then, does this close for you? Yeah, it does. Great. So then it's asking you to add. I'm going to just copy and paste that for time speed. So H2, add an H2 that says cat photo app below your H1 element. So again, it's pumping it out here. Hello world, cat photo app. So we've passed that one for sure. And then let's go to the next one. And right, inform the paragraph element. So we already did the paragraph element in my example, which was here. This is nice code. So what it's just asking us to create a P element below our H2 that says hello paragraph. So let's do that now. Let's close it up and hello paragraph. Paragraph, APH. Right, I'm going to show you something when it comes to free CodeCamp and doing these lessons. I'm not going to spell this correctly. I'm going to put a Z at the end. So when you do this, it should fail the test. So down here we've got our tests, we've got our output, and then we've got our HTML output. Let's do that. Oh, I actually passed it, which is insane, because I didn't think it would do that. So we'll just run the test. Normally it doesn't, especially with the JavaScript, it doesn't actually let you it doesn't let it pass, so that's interesting. Okay, so this is talking about fill in the blanks with placeholders. Yes, it says that web developers traditionally use lorem ipsum, and that's true, we do. For years I've been using a certain website called lorem ipsum, which is quite nice. You can generate as many paragraphs as you want. There is a fun one, if you like a bit of fun, which is bacon ipsum, which is I don't know where it originates from, but it's quite funny. You can have paragraphs. You can say, "Give me the bacon." It's quite amusing. So yeah, that's good. But yeah, the lorem ipsum is kind of like the basic of dummy text. So when you're making a mock-up, or when you've got a design and you're trying to just literally build something really quick, lorem ipsum is a really great way to get you to show how like fonts are working, how headings are working, how it displays on mobile, all that sort of thing. So inside of our P tag, we've got to replace this. So I'm just going to literally copy and paste this. So let's get rid of the hello paragraph and type in that, or paste in that, sorry. And let's go to the next solution, next lesson. Yep, we don't want to donate just yet. We will donate at some point. Okay, basic HTML and uncommenting. So with comments, it's basically like this in HTML. You've got to, let's do it in the code. Actually, let's do it in the code editor here. Let me crank this up a bit so you guys can see a bit better. Not that much though. Okay, so let's say we have, I don't know, let's just use that lorem ipsum that we've got pasted quickly. So let's say we go to our page and we don't really like it very much. Oh, we don't want to keep that there. So what we do is we'll go back in here and we'll just comment it out. So you start with, and you can do this on multi-line, you can start with an exclamation mark, 2 forward slashes, and look, it fills it out for you. So what I'll do is I'll just cut that out and I'll just stick it underneath because this paragraph is quite long. But now if I save it, you can see that it's kind of a different color in Visual Studio Code. So now what we can do is we can just refresh this, ignore the stuff in this console here. In fact, let me just clean this up. Alright, come on K, get rid of that. And now we can see that it's all gone. But it's in our code, it's in our elements, but it's not actually showing to the visitor, but it's still there. So going back to the lesson, let's have a look. And now it's to say, right, you need to uncomment your H1, your H2 and P. Well, that's quite easy. We just need to just delete the comments. That's super simple. Now you can see the comments that are there. Not comments, you can see the code that is there. Okay. Now we need to comment out code. Again, comment out your H1 element, your P element, but not your H2. Oh wow. This is super tricky. Sorry, bit of sarcasm there for you. So there we go. Let's just do that quickly. So we're commenting out the paragraph, commenting out the H1. Let's run the test. And let's submit and go to the next one. And we want to delete an element. So delete your H1 so we can simplify our view. Okay, well, that's simple. You just highlight it just like as if you're in Word or Google Docs. Boom, done. Next lesson, HTML5 and HTML5 introduction to HTML5 elements. This is where it's going to start getting a bit more juicier. So let's put that in the next video. Keep an eye out for it. If you've liked this video, please like, subscribe, ask questions below. I'll be happy to answer any questions on HTML5 or JavaScript or CSS or anything like that. Just comment below. Let's leave this for the next video. Cool. Bye.